2024 was an incredible year of cinema. Lots of surprises and some major disappointments. I didn't see everything, but here are my top 10 favorite movies of the year, films that absolutely blew me away and I plan on watching over and over again. Starting off at number 10, we have Alien Romulus. Now, as a hardcore Alien franchise fan, I was super nervous about yet another Alien reboot or spin-off. But this movie surprisingly delivered. Fede Alvarez understood exactly what makes Alien terrifying and built something magnificent upon it. The film feels like a perfect blend of the original Ridley Scott classic and a modern sci-fi horror. I loved it. For my number 9 pick, I've got Anora. This indie gem came out of nowhere and left me wide-eyed and completely dumbfounded. Talk about a beautiful disaster. It's a movie that feels so raw, so authentic, a train wreck that's impossible to look away from. I absolutely love this movie. At number 8, Rebel Ridge. This is a Jeremy Saulnier movie that nobody saw coming. This Netflix thriller is like First Blood had a baby with Walking Tall, and then that baby was raised by Jason Bourne. Aaron Pierre is phenomenal in this. Do not sleep on this movie. My number 7 spot goes to Wicked. Now, as someone who doesn't really care for musicals, like, at all, this movie really surprised me. It swept me off my feet. I'll admit, I dragged my feet to see this movie. But now I'll be sprinting to see the sequel when it hits theaters. Please tell me I'm not the only person constantly humming Defying Gravity to myself all day. On to number 6, Heretic. Hugh Grant transforms from rom-com charmer to psychological predator. Grant has never been this dark, this dangerous, and this absolutely unhinged. One of the scariest and intellectually engaging horror films that I have ever seen. I highly recommend Heretic. Creeping in at number 5, Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Now, it is so apparent that Robert Eggers has a passionate lust for this genre, and it becomes so contagious for anyone who watches this film. This gothic reimagining is a love letter to every Dracula movie and book that has ever been, and I slurped up every last second of it. Now, that brings us to number 4, The Substance. Body horror has never been sexier. This film is so wild, so provocative, so graphic. It makes David Cronenberg look tame. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley deliver spectacular performances. This movie's a total vibe, and I couldn't get enough. I wanted to squeeze every last drop of ambiance out of it. The movie that not only surprised me the most, but is also numbered among my top 3 movies of 2024. Hundreds of Beavers. I know, it sounds completely crazy, but believe me when I tell you this is a once-in-a-lifetime film. There never has, nor will there ever be another movie like this. This black and white, dialogue-less comedy is so bizarre and brilliantly funny that it's nearly impossible to take your eyes off the screen. It's like a live-action Looney Tunes cartoon with a video game-like achievement-based plot. You really just have to see this movie for yourself to even understand what I'm talking about. I love it so much. That brings us to number 2, Dune Part 2. Denis Villeneuve continues to show why he is the master of epic sci-fi. This movie is a masterpiece. Unbelievable visuals and sound, immersive world building, and top-tier performances. I saw this on IMAX and I'm really glad that I did. It's hard to imagine any other way to see this movie. Dune Part 2 isn't just a movie, it's a cinematic experience. And now my favorite movie of 2024, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. George Miller has done it again. This movie fires on all the same cylinders that made Mad Max Fury Road so incredible. Anya Taylor-Joy is a force of nature. Chris Hemsworth is deliriously unhinged and magnificent. The action sequences are insane, brutal, breathtaking intensity. It's truly a visual symphony. It's an absolute crime that this movie bombed in the theaters and only got a fraction of the love that it deserved. As far as I'm concerned, this stands above all the other movies I watched this year, and I will forever remember Furiosa, a Mad Max saga as my favorite movie of 2024. But what do you say? Do you agree with my picks? What are your top 10 movies of the year? Let me know in the comments.